What's up, guys? I'm your host, Trey, and this is the TLWL Orlando reunion.
My name is Clayton. I am known as the shystiest bitch around. I was on TLWL season 6. I'm so excited to host season 7 for you guys. It was a great season to watch. I got to watch it as a viewer instead of being in the house with you, so I'm super excited. Let's start off with introducing our cast. First, we have, of course, Dre. With Dre, we also have Mike, Tobias, Ruth, Lance, Xavier, Idarius, aka Taco, and last but not least, we have Kevin.
Best for last.
So let's get into this. Let's start off with the Trey's Migos. Dre, Mike, and Lance. You guys were returning OGs from your previous seasons. What made the season different?
Going into the season, it was 8 newbies, 3 OGs. On top of that, myself, Lance, and Mike are not a friend group. Like, yeah, we're friends, but we're not a group of friends. So going in with just them, at least for me, was a whole different experience.
It's definitely nice to have people that I was friends with prior. So it definitely made me feel comfortable that at least I knew people and I didn't have any beef with anybody, that at least anybody that I had OG relationships with in other seasons.
I almost didn't even have the Trace Amigos because I just felt like I was burnt out a little bit with the TLWL world and I thought I needed a break. But then when I knew exactly what the season was for, I was like, I cannot miss something like that. It's just so honorable. And to be in Orlando at the reunion time of the Pulse shooting, and it was Juneteenth, it was just so much for me that checked off so many boxes that it was no way I could say no. So it felt good. And then to walk in and find out it was only 3 of us returning, and it was Mike and Dre, who I built a really good rapport with, the arc of me and Mike, and then how close me and Dre got. It was definitely exciting to see what the season was going to give for us 3.
We just talked about some of the OGs. Now let's get into the newbies. This season was 8 newbies. That's a whole new cast. So Xavier, how was it moving into the house with 10 strangers?
I was scared because I'm it's all, new for me because I'm not really out there with being gay, it was something new. And the fact that it's different type of how we have gays, bis, trans. I was shocked. I'm yeah, I'm here for it.
This season, a few of you newbies had a lot to say about last season newbies, and you guys felt like you were going to fill the shoes of being the best season.
We were the best season. We gave what needed to be gave, and we entertained. And I don't think any other, especially last season, did not give what needed to be gave. And, I addressed that. I'm not going to keep bringing it up because I'm not going to keep bringing it up old stuff, but I definitely addressed that in my episode of how I feel about some people from last season. And, that was that, but we gave what we needed to be gave.
Everybody knows I left on really bad terms with season 6, and some of you may know this, but I bumped into Sabrina at the bars, and she came up to me and she was apologizing, telling me how good this season is. Basically, we hashed it out.
I guess it's the season of ghosts coming back from our past, because during the off season, I had a small interaction with Miss Famous Singer Asha from our crazy fiasco of Colorado spring season, and the ghosts of Colorado's past came back to haunt me. I still followed her after all the drama that Dre and other people had throughout the series. And one day she clocked me for watching her story. I'm like, girl, it's not that serious. Calm down. So I guess it's just the season of guests from Christmas past coming back.
That Mercury retrograde right now.
Literally.
Oh, you're right, Kevin. Oh my God.
Darius, you talked about how you got in a little tit for tat with Sebastian.
I was promoting the show out for season 6, right? On the episode they had. So I was watch these 2 exes go at it. And then he ended up clapping back, put on a story we have to be dating in order for us to be exes. So I'm sitting here well, damn, you have a whole boyfriend. Would you rather me stay friends with benefits with your boyfriend, still thinking that y'all still fucking or not? I don't even talk to Sebastian it's just out of nowhere. He just wanted to put his 2 cents in for whatever reason. But me and him do not talk. I don't follow him. He don't follow me.
He watches us. He's watching right now. Hey.
Oh, hey.
Which leads me into asking a little question. I know this is a little bit off topic, but Dre, Sebastian did just so happen to like and unlike a post on Dre Media. How do you feel about that?
I love my fans. I love it. I say it all the time. people you guys are giving me what I want. I feel famous. The reality TV life is what I want to do. You guys can hate and say and do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you're watching me and my people live our best lives, the life we live. So thank you for the like, thank you for the comment, the lurk. At the end of the day, I'm unbothered. So
it's just a scary energy. Like, if you're gonna accidentally like, just keep it there. You look like more Boo Boo the Fool when you do that like unlike BS.
Moving on from the irrelevant topic, let's go into the hookup and all the drama this season. Kevin, you were the hot topic this season. All the gays had their eyes on you. So, watching it back, how do you feel?
I definitely did not think that obviously everybody was gonna hop onto me like or have interest for me like that. Just because I'm also a very insecure person, so I wouldn't even think that would happen. But I would say for the most part I wasn't oblivious, but I was playing oblivious there because I felt like a lot of people were, hiding whatever they did truly feel because of whatever was going on between me and Mike. I don't know, just being the hot topic, it's a little bit different or new for me, but I didn't mind it.
Nah, I didn't mind it.
Kevin checks off a lot of boxes for a person I'll be interested in, but I'm also somebody who don't play that like competition game. So soon as I saw it was like boom, 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 it was like it's a chop. Like,
Right.
He's very attractive because me and Dre talked about it right after this interview. Anybody, that we was like, okay. Even Dre was even like, okay, it might be my little, love interest this season, possibly.
Like walking into the house, I was like, Tobias and Kevin. But once they both had all these people on them, I was like, I'm not being the next love triangle, and like I'm out.
So, what I peeped from group chat, what I heard, and based on the episode, Josie said that Tobias was jealous and that he really didn't care for Kevin that much. Tobias, what's your opinion on that? And Kevin, what's your opinion on that based on the action?
All right. I've been dying to give an opinion about this. Because
me fucking too.
We were there for a few hours. You don't know me, bitch. And my eyes are fucking lines. At any point, I can have a resting bitch face if I'm not looking at you and smiling and winking like I was the whole season.
When that video was taken, it was like in our first hour or two of the house, it was like us close or whatever. Because as you like literally momentarily after that, Tobias and Josie hit it off and they had a good time the rest of the time. He also was new to this scenario. By that point, he had really not seen much of Dre Media. He caught up a little bit before he joined the show, but he wasn't sure exactly what he got into. He watched reality TV, see a Bad Girls Club here, there. So he felt all the time that it was competition until he slowly, as time went on, like to me, feel like he learned what the show really was given. So that was literally, like I mentioned, the first hour that he felt that way. And I was just telling him, at the end of the day, be yourself. People gonna either love you or they gonna hate you, and that's that. But he definitely felt a little fever from Tobias, and he was interested in Xavier, and that's honestly when I put my pin in the me and Xavier interest.
Not for nothing. The fact that he thinks that he didn't want Kevin is kind of capped too, but.
And that's
right.
And that's what I was gonna mention, because watching the episode back, hearing that conversation of Josie and Lance that they didn't want me and blah blah blah, and then hearing otherwise from other people, and then feeling otherwise because the first 25-30 minutes of the house, Josie grabbed my face and kissed me up on the stairwell. So I'm just like, if you don't want me like that, why are you forcing a kiss on me? I even have it on camera. If you didn't want me, then why are you grabbing my face?
This season, you guys went to the club a couple of times. So the first night, I think this was probably the craziest club scene in TLWL history, because there was kissing, grinding, dancing. Mike, as we all know, at the start of the season, everybody was all over Kevin, but you was the first one to make your move and call dibs. You want to explain that?
We were like talking in the kitchen before we left and just like vibing in the van. He put his arm on my shoulder and I was like, I'm making out with this kid tonight. And I did exactly what I thought I was going to do. And that was choke him and make out with him.
Okay, period. What is the connection between you and Kevin now after the season?
Good question.
Like, we talk here and there, but again, he lives across the country, so it's really, we can't hang out, and it's not like you're gonna take a plane to just go hang out with someone.
My baby Mike. So then my question to you is, why get so pressed?
Yeah.
Like if it was just for the day and it was
To be fair, you can't really control feelings.
Yeah.
Like it's not
And
like,
I'll say something real quick, like Ruth, someone was in my ear, and that's why I didn't fuck with you for like half the season, but I definitely apologize to you off camera because I wanted you to feel like it was genuine, and I have so much love for you, and I'm so sorry that how do I put this? I'm so sorry that like I went after you and I was mad at you for just being you. So I'm sorry. I love you so much, and you did nothing wrong. Ever.
So question, Mike, do you see it as a TLWL thing with you and Kevin? Like if y'all see each other on future seasons, will those sparks reignite, or will you just allow it to be what it is?
If it happens, it happens. I mean, there's nothing saying it will or won't, you know. Again, like if we're drinking, like that definitely propels it to me wanting to make out with him, but you know, whatever.
So this question can kind of go for anybody. You know, it kind of involved everybody at one point, but of course, Mike and Kevin were kind of booed up. Some people were not very happy about that. I just want to kind of hear, you know, was anyone genuinely upset about it? What was everyone's thoughts on them being booed up since the beginning?
I was actually happy for them. I'm like, oh, damn, already? So I really wanted to see like how far they can go towards the end. Like, you know, they were going to actually be a couple after the show and everything. So I was kind of rooting for them.
I'm not used to seeing that type of Mike. Like all Mike usually does is come, get fucked up, and stir the pot. So like seeing him open up to someone and genuinely like vibe with someone, I was like, damn, like if it's not me, at least one of my good friends is like fucking vibing. I'm not gonna lie though, Ruth and Kevin definitely had a really, really good chemistry vibe going on. So I felt like, fuck, I really want Mike and Kevin together because he's my friend, but Ruth and Kevin together, they were like fucking hot. Like that shit, I was like,
they are like made for each other.
Yeah, I was like,
right.
And that's and that's kind of where like I come in. Like mine was very much indifferent because I know sometimes when it's someone's first season, you want to enjoy like all aspects. And I was like, dang, like Kevin is this like attractive guy. Mike is attractive. Yeah, that's good. We want that for the season. But then on the other hand, I'm like, oh, Kevin can have so many options. I hear the whispers. He can have a plethora, like enjoy the moment. And sometimes being booed up it gets a little sticky, it gets a little tough, and cause people to not be able to make those full connections, even if it's friend-wise or sexually with everyone else. So that's the hard part.
Am I gonna lie and say I wasn't disappointed? Sure. But especially after hearing that episode, Mike specifically saying, you know, I wasn't gonna go after Kevin. It's like, God damn it.
First, and then we started talking.
But
we have so many things.
I'm on the same boat with Lance where it's not a competitive thing with me. I'm not about to chase no boy. Me and Kevin have kind of the same mentality where it's like, if you come up to me and we're vibing, then we're vibing. But other than that, I'm not pursuing you.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was on my way to the house, I was like eyeing my eyes on Mike, and when I saw Mike and Kevin together, I'm like, damn, like fuck, I can go.
It could have been
now.
Xavier and
I know that. What?
Throwing it away.
It could have been Xavier and Mike, and then Kevin would have been free to do what he wanted.
You know what's funny?
Xavier.
Crazy Xavier. You told me something else at the club, but all right.
Well, you know, you could guys too. You could guys too.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Well, let's all
I
be
just
honest.
wanna say,
The real person who was butthurt isn't here, so.
no, because
It's the
literally,
opportunity.
funny enough, I just want to say that like I was so happy for them. Like we would literally be downstairs and Mike would make me breakfast. Like I would be with them when they were booed up, and I never like was mad. I was like, oh my god, like good for them. I was so happy for them. Like if they were to have been like interested in seeking a relationship outside of the house, I would have been all for it. I had the mentality of I was in the house to have fun and like make lifelong friends. And I was never looking for a relationship. So when they were booed up, it never bothered me. It just bothered me that people were mad at me because I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong.
You weren't. It was other people like in people's ear, and that's why there was.
But also, Mike, that need to be a lesson for you because this is not the first time that you let people get in your ear. Like I really think that you really need to start making your own, you know, feelings for people because like look how you and Ruth are now after the season, good as friends. And if y'all would have just maybe talked it out, like how you addressed Marcy about it and maybe talk to her. And you know, like in the past seasons, you did that with other people as well, because other people were in your ear about them without getting to know them.
Obviously, the general consensus of who's here is they were happy for them. They were excited about it. Everyone didn't mind it. One person definitely minded it, and that was Marcy. I don't know who was closest to her in the house, who wasn't, what was said, what did she feel, you know, how did Marcy actually feel about it?
Apparently not.
A lot of us, girl.
What'd you say?
I said I thought we were close, but apparently not. She hated me.
Same, and like, listen, I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm not gonna go in because she's not here, and that's like super disrespectful. However, I thought we were super close. Like, I mean, like she was crying, I was holding her hand, like I was like all for Marcy, and then to watch the whole season play out and to see that she was like plotting against me, like really hurt my feelings. And for me to not like somebody, like it takes a lot. I just feel like, you know, it was just really shitty of her to do me so dirty, per se. And I mean, she was in my ear a lot about Ruth as well, and that's a huge reason why I didn't fuck with her for most of the season. And I feel like that's dishonest, and that's really just not someone I want to fuck with ever again, ever. And that's really all I have to say.
The issue that I'm growing slowly with Marcy, but of course, I can see, I see myself in her, is that like she sees herself as less valuable in multiple ways. So when she thinks volatile of somebody, she imposes her own insecurity on people.
He projects insecurity.
There we go.
And that's why I felt like conflicted, because I thought we were friends from the house. Like I didn't know there was an issue inside of the house. And then I come outside of the house and people are like, she called you a pick-me, and she actually hated you. And then you invited me to New York. You're like, I love you. Let's hang out. We go to New York. We have so much fun at the club. And the whole time, like, you didn't like me because of a situation that I had no idea about. That's hurtful.
The fact that Kevin wasn't there and isn't around anymore, I feel like it's changed her perception of other people because of her persistence in trying to get with Kevin. So the way her attitude did change, and then she developed a genuine friendship with me, with Ruth, and you know, I know all the tea with Dre, but
you know, everybody else, they said they were trying to get with him. That's cool. When you're telling me one thing, you're doing another, that's when I'm like, okay, I can't be with somebody who is gonna tell me one thing and then 5 seconds later do something else. Like every single other person in the cast said what they want to do, did what they wanted to do. I don't think anybody else was ever like, you know, wishy-washy.
I didn't grow to love Marcy so much, and we didn't end even on the best note. Our relationship started afterwards, and it's kind of like you just question a little bit like some of the genuine nature of it, and it's just hard sometimes. And then when you hear all this extra stuff, it's like, damn, what do you really believe and how genuine is this friendship?
Going into the house, Marcy wanted to be the star. Marcy was my roommate going into the house. We were really good friends. Her intentions going into the house was to be the main character, okay? Coming home from the show, clearly she wasn't the main character. She wasn't Kevin's first choice. I don't even think she was on the list, so let's be real. And she was butthurt, okay? She was butthurt, and she was, again, I get it, she deals with insecurity, but she did project that into the season, and she did say that when we got home. So throughout the season, all she talked about was Kevin and how much she was not a fan of Mike and Kevin being booed up, and how much she wanted Kevin, and how she wants to be the first choice, and how she's not the star, and yada yada yada. And in the house, she had the most shit to say about Ruth. Okay, she called Ruth a pick me. She said Ruth was thirsty as fuck. She said she's not a girl's girl. She didn't fuck with Ruth. I have no reason to lie. If anybody here wants to be friends with Marcy, I don't care. But at the end of the day, just know who you're gonna be friends with, and she's not genuine. And when she finally got to know Ruth outside of the house, and it wasn't because Kevin's not there, it's because she uses people. That's what she does. She never liked Ruth, and she only liked Ruth because Ruth was one of the only, she has no one here. She just moved to New York. She doesn't have Sonny. She didn't have me going to New York. No one else was going out with her. So it was Ruth. And that's the sad truth.
Oh my, I feel like people just read way too much into me and Kevin's friendship.
Yeah.
Like me and Kevin had a mutual just like understanding of we're just having fun. And when we be out, we dance together and that was it. We would go back into the house and he would go back to Mike and I wouldn't feel some type of way because we were all single. I had no idea she was feeling that pressed about the Kevin situation because again, she had said, "Oh, I just want a piece, like I just want a little taste, blah blah blah, this, that, and the third." And we were all in the room together. Apparently, she thought that I should have took that as backed off. I love you, Kevin, but I feel like every time Kevin would do something, I'd be like, Ruth is Kevin's keeper, and she controls everything he does. I have no control over what he does. He is a grown ass man. He chose to dance with me. He could have walked away. Like I have no control over what he does. So why is it Ruth does this, Ruth does that? It's not my fault.
Ruth talked about basically, you know, Kevin's a grown man. Kevin can do what he wants to do. So for me, I feel like watching the show, a lot of the blame went on Mike, Ruth, and Marcy. It was, you know, they were mad at each other. Why was nobody upset with Kevin? Or why was, you know, Kevin allowed to do whatever he wanted to do and no one was upset with him or anyone got their feelings hurt by him?
No, I'm gonna say for Kevin up in this situation because no one ever actually went to Kevin and been like, Mike, I love you, but you guys were never cohesive on the same page. So
it was always around the corner.
Kept going in his confessional being like, I'm single, I can do what I want. And Mike was on some shit like back off. They were not
that's my man.
On the same page, yeah.
So
And that was my
really
one
Kevin's
problem
fault
with both Marcy and Mike because they obviously were telling other people about me, but they weren't telling me about me.
Like address the main person.
Right. And I understand that me and Mike had this connection and I might read off that I should know better. But I said it before I walked in there when I was fucking with everybody and in my confessionals. I said the entire trip, I'm single. Nobody has a claim on me. I'm not on a leash. And that's the only reason why I had a problem with what Marcy was saying, because she's over here telling me now. She just texted me like last week saying that she wasn't telling people to back off of me when I know that is a lie because Ruth is saying it right now. And I'm pretty sure I know she's told Sunny to back off.
It was in the episode.
I just find it funny how like, mad that I was hooking up with him and then she did it, but then Ruth hooked up with him and then she's pissed off at Ruth, but she did the same thing. So I just think that's very hypocritical.
And I just have a question, and this is honestly for Kevin, like genuinely, because I don't know, but did you and Marcy even make a deeper, like, yeah, you guys were cool, we were all friends in the house, but did you have a real friendship with her? Because at least with Ruth and Mike, whatever you had with Mike was what you had with Mike, and you definitely had a fucking friendship with Ruth. So it's just like, why is the person that has the least connection to you getting so upset?
She knew that we had no connection because on the trip she was like, oh, I feel like we haven't talked, we haven't connected, we haven't got one-on-one and blah blah blah. And I knew that, but in the back of my mind I was already reading the room at that point. I had this connection to Marcy of like, you remind me of my cousin. So I never got into it with her because I'm not gonna fucking kiss fuck whatever with my cousin.
Yeah, and I also think it's because of you being an energy person, because I'm an energy person too, and that type of energy doesn't read relationship. With you being an energy person and the type of energy you give and the type of energy Marcy give, I can never see that work. Just
right. I try and see the best in her, only because I do feel like she is a tad bit misunderstood. I don't agree with a lot of her actions, but I feel like it just piggybacks to her insecurities. And that's the only reason why I give her that opportunity to kind of grow or apologize where she needs to.
I just want to say, like, I'm not holding, I mean, I am kind of hurt to find out that, like, she said this, that, and the third about me, but, like, at the end of the day, I still want to give her the benefit of the doubt because, like, I'm that type of person. Even with Mike, like, I'm not going to hold the situation over their head. Like, shit happened in the house, and at the end of the day, like, I don't think that anyone in this house were bad people. And, like, I think her insecurities got the best of her, and we've all had moments where I felt insecure, but I also think it's not fair to me to like project that insecurity onto me, but I'm not going to hold it over her head.
I just want to get to the last of this little section right here and talk about the question that I want to know. Mike, Kevin, or Kevin and Ruth, is anyone still together? Is anyone still talking? Is everyone still doing their own thing? What is the situation? Is it now Kevin and Tobias? What's the situation?
So much.
Me, Kevin, and Tobias are a throuple.
Yeah.
Hello.
And
Well,
me and
actually,
my
it's,
sister wives.
it's a quad.
We are sister
because Tobias
wives.
it's a quad.
Yeah, everybody's for the
I
most
guess we're
part
not in that equation still.
still single over here.
Now, there was another love though. Darius, you obviously were super interested in Lance. You made it known from the very beginning that that's who you were going after. You know, throughout the season, we saw things kind of go back and forth. You know, I'm gonna say I'm not really sure exactly what all the feelings were, if they were matched, if they weren't matched. It was confusing for me as a viewer. I will say that. Obviously, there's still a lot of stuff that we don't get to see, unfortunately. But you know, from your side, that kind of thing, you know, I would like to hear your side as well as Lance's side on y'all's relationship.
So from the very beginning, before I even got casted or knew I was gonna get casted, I was watching season 5 with Lance on there. And it was just something about him that I was really attracted to. Like, Lance, from what I heard, that you thought, like, you felt like I was not interested in you, like you felt like I was interested in you for no reason. I really did have a reason. Like, you know, why would I just, oh, let me hit him up and let me try to mix something up with me and him? I was not gonna do that. Like, if I'm feeling you, I'm feeling you. Like, I'm not scared to go out after what I want. So, and I try to do the best I can to get to know you as much as I could, but it was like you were kind of like just standoffish, like you weren't going to text like as often as you would. So I'm like, let me just back off, and until we get in the house, let's see where that goes. And I was really hoping for me and you to get somewhere, because I was trying my hardest to get with you.
At that point, I was on production, and I knew like your interview was coming up, and I was like, Lance, you can't do this, because I got whiffed that, like, when you first applied, like you mentioned that, and I'm like, ooh, we have to slow it down. Like, I was talking to you as a friend. I never knew it was on that type of level. I definitely was open to getting to know Darius more. And as I watched the series, I feel that I did come across a little standoffish and a little nasty at times. And that's never me, because like I deal with my own insecurities. I deal with like wanting to feel like enough to someone. I done been in the same position that Darius has been in, with like interested in someone and the feelings aren't the same. So it definitely like made me look at myself like, damn, Lance, like you could have handled things a little different. I will say that me and Darius had really good conversation in the house, really got to know each other on certain standpoints. And that's why my problem came in whenever the season was over. And yeah, I did what I did, say what I said. But during the takeover moments, a question came up about Lance, about like, do you still talk to Lance or something like that? Mind you, me and Darius, like outside of all of this, like that's one person that like we have stayed connected after the season, because even you saw it in the finale. He was like, we'll see what me and Lance have outside of this or in the future, or if it's just a dud. So I definitely gave him the time of day outside of the house and got to know him. We were talking about like, because I'm in the process of moving to LA. He wants to move to LA. So we had long drawn out conversations about areas, things like that. Maybe if we're not like dating, we could be good friends, maybe roommates, etc. And it slapped me in the face to hear him literally say, oh, besides checking on Lance, seeing Lance's Instagram, I bet he's doing fine. This is not The Bachelor. So I'm not about to see you kissing the same night that you're expressing your feelings to me, kissing 3 other bitches in the club. So I'm going to move on swiftly.
I tried to just have a little small conversation with you or get you to back to dance. You're like, go do your thing. It's your birthday. You're 21. Go have fun. And then that's when I made that. I felt like you
also
just kept
was your
pushing me
first
off.
season. I did not want your first season to be involved in like looking like Boo the Food chasing after Lance, when I saw that it wasn't gonna be nothing with us. We literally made out in the club that night. After that, and I see you 10 minutes later making out with someone else, it's like, it's a chop. Like Dre many times throughout the house is like, Lance, you're doing Darius wrong. So I want to hear his side of like how he felt I was treating Darius throughout that process.
Well, I mean, it's pretty shown on the show, and like I genuinely do feel like Darius got played out. Like Darius looks like so, like, I don't know what the word is, but like I feel bad for Darius. You and Xavier called him out.
The bathroom scene?
Hold on, wait. Y'all called him out in the bathroom. Lance always wanted Xavier, so I don't feel like he was fully giving Darius that time of day. They slept together night 1, and Darius came to the next morning and was like, so like love struck. He was like, oh, we had like a really good talk. So I was like, oh wow, maybe Lance really is like, opening up and like seeing his options. But then watching the episode, every time Darius is near him or every time Darius does something, Lance had a comment or a face to make, which is fine. But then like, you can't be upset if you weren't given, because from what I was being told and from what I knew, you didn't want Idarius. So it was like, I don't really want you. And then he would do something, and then you'd be like, oh, how do you want me? But you're getting with other people. Like, was he just supposed to stick his fingers? Like,
yeah, and honestly, my thing for the whole bathroom scene was definitely to show Taco like this just don't have it for you like how you assume. You shouldn't have been giving your interest to other people. If you was gonna build that relationship with me, it should have been all focused on me at all costs. It shouldn't have even been no make out section with Xavier, Tobias, whoever. Because
He did not kiss me. That did not happen. When he tried to kiss me, I moved my face.
It was a 3-kiss with you, Tobias, and him. It was in the club.
It was
Literally.
Josie.
We all saw it.
In the bathroom earlier in the season, a conversation was had, Xavier, about Idarius explaining how he feels about you. Could you kind of walk us through that and you calling him out a little bit?
I was waiting to talk to Idarius like separately. Like I didn't want to do it like on camera because I knew that was gonna come out, crazy. And then I actually told Lance, try to be cute, like, having conversations, and then finding out that Lance he present right there in front of him. Like I didn't want to do that right there. And then he did the same shit with Josie. Like he told Josie something about that I told Lance. So it's like I was telling Lance stuff and then he was ending up like, basically like pressing me about it in front of them.
Like watching it, I kind of felt uncomfortable because I felt bad for Taco. The two boys he was going at are dubbing him like flat out. I felt like if Xavier and Taco had that conversation in private, it wouldn't be as cringy because Taco's sitting there naked, like fucking cornered, saying like, "Oh, trust me, I get it. Trust me, I get it." So it's like, poor Taco.
When other people stir the pot for same type of stuff, it's okay. But being that I brought it up because it involves me, and then it also had underlying situations with the person that I was like originally interested in, and the person that was interested in me, it make it seem like, oh yeah, Lance is just such a bad person, when at the end of the day, we are from the show. Yeah, it's nasty, I understand. But it was just a form of Lance stirring the pot.
It just felt like throughout the show and even before this conversation that you just felt like, nope, like like Idarius wants to kiss other people, like it's Idarius' fault. Like it's
but because Idarius needs to speak up on it. Us after the season literally talk. Like, Idarius, am I one of the people that you talk to the most? Like we literally would text every day, FaceTime.
After the show, we stopped talking. I called you one time to figure out, like, I was in my emotions, like, how do I separate this? You gave me advice on what to do.
Yeah, I can't do the lies, man.
What am I lying about?
I can't.
Lance, what am I lying about? Because after the whole show, we never spoke the whole damn time. We only spoke one time.
So we didn't speak until that other project. We didn't speak until the other project?
Until the other project. That was it. But after that, you never spoke to me. I tried to text you and you just ignore me, and that's it. And with my whole takeover, with my whole takeover, sure, am I bad for saying how I think it was? But did I lie about everything else? No. There was no beef, there was no issue, but there was no relationship because we don't talk. And every time when I do try to talk to you on the phone, there's one time when I do try to talk to you on the phone, Lance, when I do try to talk to you on the phone, you're always how you first answer the phone. You're like, why are you calling me child? Like, you just make me feel like you don't want to talk to me.
Okay. It's always going to be that Lance was the bad person in this situation.
Lance, I never considered you as a bad person. I always said it was my fault. All you could have just done the whole time was freaking apologize and just tell me the truth that you're not really interested in me. The only like you said in that last episode, your cup of tea was Xavier. You really could have just said, "Hey, Darius, I'm not interested."
That for me? Were you playing that for me?
I didn't play that for me. I'm not.
My own friend was sitting there telling me that I'm being manipulative to you.
I never said you were being manipulative. Everybody else is saying that. I never said you were being manipulative.
So what you sitting there telling them?
I had so many people outside of this saying you were manipulated, Darius. You got played.
Taco never said anything bad
Taco
about it.
has never, ever, like, it has been everyone else being like, dude, like, defend yourself. If this is how you feel, speak.
Right.
Never said anything bad about you. Me calling you manipulative is not from what he told me, it's from what I saw. Point blank period. I'm just
it's from like what is filmed, it looks bad. But I don't think necessarily like it wasn't anything Taco said.
Well, even right after the bathroom scene, I talked to Taco about it, and I apologize.
Me and Xavier already talked about all that. We squashed that. You have all this mouth to tell everybody else how they are, but you couldn't tell me how you really felt about me. You didn't want me in your bed. You could have told somebody else. Like, you could have just said, "Idarius, get out my room. I just want you on the couch or somewhere else." Like, I didn't
Give
care
me
about
the
my
gut,
feelings. You felt like my feelings were gonna be hurt. You could have just told me straight up from the get-go.
Let's talk about some of the good memories and the good times in the house. Questions for all you guys. What was it like living with different individuals in the house
Loved it.
from different backgrounds?
We got to learn about everyone.
I enjoyed my time on there a lot.
Yes, me too.
You got a whole ass tattoo there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just interesting because I've never been, I mean, I have a lot of queer friends, but a dedicated like group of us together, it's kind of like, and you saw it in the show, even though we have our kind of disagreements and our problems, we all related on a basic queer level. And that makes me feel how the heteronormativity feels, where it's like, this isn't different. Like, this is what it's supposed to be. We're all supposed to be like expressing and exploring and also encouraging each other to express and explore, which is something that isn't prevalent in the heterosexual community. So me, I can't thank Dre enough for allowing me one to meet Ruth, but you know, everybody who's just been so, you know, like, I just appreciate everybody and I love everybody, even, you know, the people that are more polarizing.
I love that we got to learn everybody's backgrounds and what they've been through. And I mean, it really shows who they are today, because a lot of people in this cast have been through so much. And for them to be through so much and then still have a positive outlook on life, like, it really shows how good they are of a person.
There was a pool scene, a pool party scene that I saw. But a little birdie told me that a lot of stuff from that was missing or cut out. Probably for legal reasons, I'm gonna say. But what was cut out? What was missing? What did I not get to see?
A lot of nudity.
We will insert the OnlyFans link down below.
Next question.
Right, exactly.
It was so
Okay, so I'm just gonna make the assumption that a lot of stuff happened. There was a lot of action happening. Things we didn't even get to see. We're gonna leave it at that. I think you guys definitely did that the most out of any season. I'll say that. Let's move into something a little more touchy. It's gonna be a little bit of, you know, maybe back and forth. We're gonna get through it though. Big fight. Probably the biggest one of y'all season is going to be, of course, Josie and Lance versus the rest of the house. You know, we kind of see what happened with it, you know, starting from not being there to pick them up from the club after going somewhere else, things like that. You know, it's kind of hard for people that have never done it to understand, because when you have one car and, you know, it's kind of reliable on whoever's driving, that kind of thing, it's a different situation. Of course, you can Uber, things like that, but we already spent money. So I get both sides, but I want to hear from you guys, you know, why did it start? Why did it get to the level that it was at? And, you know, could it have been addressed differently from anybody?
I've been a part of TLWL for 3 seasons and other Dre Media projects. And I respect the hell out of Dre Media. I respect the hell out of Dre. The only thing at that point, Josie had his mindset that he was going somewhere else, no matter what. And at the end of the day, Josie is my family. And no matter how much I may have wanted to just stick it out at Southern Nights, or no matter how much I may have wanted to just go home, I could not have left him go anywhere alone. I went to Dre and offered him the keys. He said, no, be back at 1. I was like, are you sure? It's fine. I understand that he said, you know, I was in charge of the car, et cetera, et cetera. We left the club, literally calling Ubers. I have my receipts because I knew people would want to see them. Cancellation ride after cancellation ride after cancellation ride.
If you left at the designated time you were supposed to pick up, then you still should have gotten there before 3:30 when me and Dre got one of his hookups to take me home.
If you go back to the chat, y'all will see Lance never threw out the nasty comments. Josie is his own person, and that's the problem I have from a lot of times where Dre would, you know, talk to me about certain things and feel like I need to address Josie. Josie is a cast member. Anyone has a problem with Josie, y'all address Josie. Just because it's, you know, it's my family, y'all address that with him. I'm not his keeper, but at the same time, like why everything that he says falls down on Lance just because I was there or involved, etc.
except Lance and myself, nobody understands the fact that like when you sign for this fucking van, like you're responsible for it. So everybody else have a great time and you're responsible for the fucking van. That's why I did it one season and I was over it. I'm done. I would rather Uber and spend more money on Uber than have the van because everybody wants
Negative.
and okay, well then you can sign for the van next time.
I wasn't paying $90 for an Uber at
I'm
3
just saying,
a.m.
like,
Sorry.
It's stressful, it's annoying,
I
and
get it.
like you want
So
to go
don't sign up for it.
well, but like you have to be responsible. You can't drink, you can't have fun. You gotta fucking drive everybody around while everybody else has fun. So
and Tobias, you saying not to like sign up for it. I never had the problem with the van situation, so let's not run that narrative. Lance never had a problem with the van thing. So like the thing is, first of all, I'm old enough to get the van, and that's why Mike was the original person who used to get the van, and ever since I don't mind it. As many seasons where like and a lot of people run this narrative about like Lance and the money hungry. That's why that like money situation happened.
Negative.
But Dre knows it's plenty seasons where Lance put money down on shit and I had to front the difference and never once asked for it. And it's okay. It's okay. So like the only reason why the thing got like blown up and Lance was like, oh, even though if you don't want to come, get the money, make sure you send my money. Like me, okay, it was 4 people didn't come with that at $60. Like that is nothing to me. Xavier was the one popping off the most about we get there when we get there. Even though if anybody else had the feeling about it, Xavier was the one that had the mouth in that message to say it. And that's why I popped off so heavy on him. And I said my little words to Marcy, but I done been there, done that arguing with girls, so I wasn't gonna sit there and argue with Marcy the whole night about it. So that's why I went at Xavier.
Wolf had, I think she felt the same type of way. Mike did, Kevin, all of us did. And it's like, why are you still coming at me? Because I said something on the group chat.
Baby, you wasn't giving that energy. You was literally sitting on that
because
counter.
I was not the one. I was not the one that was arguing for the money.
Don't go in your confessional saying that I gave him back the same energy. And even
I was waiting for that
energy
the next day.
Did you ever think about handling the situation calmly? What made you go off the way you did?
A lot was being said in that group text, and I felt like at the end of the day, it was just going to be like gang mentality. As soon as you walk in, it's on red. So I was on ready. And maybe I could have handled it different, but I was already on ready. And I promise you, like, as Josie was sitting there quiet as a mouse during that moment, he was literally in the van like, Lance, like, when you get there, it's not even worth it. Like, don't even address it. Just try to have, like, small talk with the people that, you want to have small talk with about it. Don't get, like, heated about it and keep it moving because you're going to mess up the experience. And if he was here, he'll tell you that that's literally what he did that whole 30-minute ride back.
In my opinion, this all started way before them not showing up. When we were leaving the second drag show, me and Lance were in the front, and I'm talking to Lance, and I'm making faces to Lance because my issue was with Josie. And Lance decided to lower the radio and was like, no, if people got something to say it, because Dre's over here in the front making faces like you obviously feel some type of way. So he
all I was like, address it because y'all was constantly bringing Josie drama to me.
No,
address it.
Wait. I was rolling my eyes and being annoyed because Josie would not shut the fuck up in the van about not going.
Right, fair.
I was like, why is Lance putting me on the spot when only me and him could see what's going on in the front? So if I'm like, oh my fucking God, there was no need for it to be turned into that whole thing. That's how the whole van thing started. It seems very hypocritical to me because it's like Josie and Lance didn't want to leave Josie alone, but then the reasoning we couldn't go out to a club was because we couldn't leave Sunny alone. It wasn't because we didn't want to. That's another major problem that happened. And then on top of that, I think it's very hypocritical for you to sit here and come at me for what Xavier and Mike said, but then you don't want to have to deal with what Josie says. Because at the same time, I held you. Yeah, you're not Dre Media, but you are the highest ranked production member there. So it's me and it's you and it's Mike right there. So if I have to control what they do, you need to control your brother because that's your family. So if you know we're filming a show, again, you and Josie are the oldest cast members. Like, either get him in line and in check and don't let him leave, or like I get it, that's your family, but like he is a grown ass man. The same way I have to be professional and I have to be unbiased, you have to be professional and have to be unbiased. And you were really the only person that could somewhat control Josie, and you didn't. And then when they didn't show up, it was never like, hey, like, will be there. It was just, and I'm not saying Lance did. I don't know who it was because ask anybody here. I did not give a fuck about you guys not showing up. I was ready to go back in that club. I was in that club till it closed down. Everybody else was bitching and complaining. I was in the club. So the fact that we got home and it turned into Lance versus Dre, and even in the group chat, it was, well, blame Dre. I told Dre, and I kept telling Lance, I'm like, Lance, what are you trying to do? Like, are you trying to make this narrative about me and you? Because like
no, I was just in a process of defending myself where I didn't do a shiesty ass move. I tried to do the right thing, even though it wasn't received. And like I say, your feelings are valid. And for me, our argument, it got into argument with me and you because of the fact at the end of the day, like you said, is a rank of production. You're the top tier. So if your talent, who you got to sign contracts, is not abiding by something that's a part of the show, they're not going to listen to me. So they might listen to you.
You did not
You're not going to run that narrative that I'm aggressive and cross the line every time where no one else is ever wrong. No one else is ever wrong. It's always Lance, the aggressor.
No. I'm not talking about
Let's be clear.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about me and you. I did not do anything for you to get in my face the way you did. And everyone here and the viewers saw it. That's wrong. Point blank period, that is wrong. You and I were friends, really good friends at a point. And so
exactly.
So there was no Lance, you pushed the camera out of the way, you kept pointing at my finger. Then when I was
at the end of the day, I felt disrespected by you because at the end of the day, the person's side you needed to take with the situation. Yes, the van situation was wrong, but when it came down to that aspect of, you know, me footing the bill for certain things, you needed to take my side and put your foot down. Yes, I didn't know. I did not know that though. I didn't know that you talked to them and was like, hey, if you come or not. But at the end of the day, in the heat of the moment, and it comes up, you can't be mad that I reacted to it because it felt like you wasn't on my side as a friend, as a producer, as a whole.
Okay. One, you didn't let me speak. You just kept yelling. I kept trying to talk. Everybody could.
You're so worried about the camera. Like I'm trying to talk. I was trying to have a real ass.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I was still talking to you. I was still trying to talk, whether I was recording or not. I was talking to you. I was talking. You were yelling. Yes or no? You didn't stop yelling until Josie had to fucking yell at you and was like, Lance, shut the fuck up and let Dre speak. He literally.
Yeah, I was definitely elevated. Like I said, I came in there hot. Okay. I was elevated.
Okay, so
never denied that.
That's what I'm trying to explain. I'm not saying you're wrong for not knowing the side, but what I'm saying you are wrong about until this day, you have not, like, as a friend, never apologized, never pulled me aside. I'm not pulling you aside. The same way Xavier said, you came in, so I'm not pulling you aside.
When I left that, like literally, Dre, when I left that, like literally, you know, us talking a little bit the next day, and when I left, I didn't feel like, besides like the little shady stuff, like even see it in the finale, me like, I hate you, bitch, I love you, bitch, I hate you, bitch. Like, I didn't really know we had a big ass issue, to be crystal clear. I just wish I would have knew that it was more of an issue and it would have been addressed because I value my relationships and my friendships. And you know, out of all the people in TLWL world, you and Deja were people that I really valued a lot, and Janice and JT at one point. But you were top tier.
Never once have I sat here until this day. I have mad love for you. I have respect for you because of everything you've done for Dre Media. Everybody knows that. You even know that. Before we flew out the season, after our Texas reunion, I texted you and Janice and wrote you guys such a big paragraph about how much I appreciate you guys, this, that, and the third. So you coming in the house and saying, I don't appreciate you, I'm ungrateful, then going into confessionals and continuing that narrative, no matter how you felt, it really bothered me and it hurt me and it's still sticking with me because season 6 left that house trying to make Dre and Dre Media look like this malicious, immature person who's like has favorites and doesn't value, like, so you crossing that line and saying that, and then in the house making multiple comments, getting in my face, and we did somewhat speak about it. When you did your interview, I don't know if you remember, it was Xavier, Darius, myself, and Marcy upstairs, and we were talking about, oh, what are we gonna look like in the season, da-da-da-da. I told you you were gonna look that way, and I was like, and Lance, it should have never gotten to that point. Like, you should have never gotten in my face or said any of this to me. And you sat there quietly, and everyone said it. Everyone was like, wow, I'm surprised Lance didn't say anything to you, didn't come crazy at you. You never said, I'm sorry, can we move on from it? It was just, your interview was like, I seen Dre's true colors, he's rocking with the newbies, and what's it called? Like, I don't know where we're gonna go from here. But at the end of the day, even in our confession, even in my narrative, I never questioned our friendship. I never questioned you as a person. Never. I never did any of that. You took your own narrative and made me out to be like you don't know where I value you. And then the whole, again, this is probably will come up later, but the whole whitewash thing, all these things, like, you have to understand, and I told you this, like, you really said things that hurt my feelings. And whether I sat there and was like, Lance, you really hurt my feelings or not, as a friend, and I told you this in the house too, if I did that to you, you probably wouldn't be my friend. If I did that to you, who knows if we would have fucking fist fought. If I did that to you, I would have went to you and been like, Lance, this needs to be spoken about. You did it with Tiana, you did it with Ava, and you didn't even cross personal lines with them. You weren't even friends with them. But you literally were in my face saying that you're going to smack the shit out of me and beat the fuck out of me. And you don't think that I could feel some type of way or that it should have been spoken about? Like, why do I have to come to you? I still invited you to caucus. I invited you to TLWL 8. I would answer your calls. And till this day, I'm not saying we're not friends. I just have distanced myself because if it's like, damn, like, I really considered you my best friend in this whole entire experience since I started inviting people. I was closer to you than Mike, closer to you than Josh, closer to you than anybody here, and you did that to me. Every time that it has been brought up after the season, you make a slick comment like, you're weird, like, you still feel some type of way? How about, hey, let's talk about it. Hey, I'm sorry. No, like, it's just always you saying I'm weird or I'm immature, whatever, however you want to put it. And again, you're making it feel like my feelings aren't valid when I didn't cross a line with you on any level of disrespect.
Yeah. So, never wanted to make you feel that your feelings wasn't valid, but this is the first time I ever got the full extent about how you felt about it. Like I mentioned it before, and I even talked about a little bit on the show, I'm the type of person who usually, you know, especially with my close friends, like, we have a tip, keep it moving, we good the next day, whatever. I understand now, definitely, your full feelings about it. If I did anything to hurt your feelings, Dre, at the end of the day, you know, I wholeheartedly apologize. I value you. I value you bringing me into your friend group, etc. I never meant to do anything to hurt you. At the end of the day, I'm not going to use the alcohol. I'm not going to use being amped up, any of that as an excuse. I definitely crossed the line with you, and I apologize, especially knowing the full extent about how you feel. I never wanted you to feel that I didn't value your feelings, because I do. I never, ever wanted the season to end with me losing like my closest friend in this franchise and closest friend and a good friend in life. Like, Dre has become one of my good friends. So it sucks. And I do apologize for my wrongs in it and about your feelings. And that's all I can say. And where we go from here is definitely in your boat. I definitely feel it's definitely a deeper conversation we need to have outside of this and, you know, one-on-one. Because just speaking from this and for the show aspect, it's not going to fix everything at all.
I do want to ask Ruth real quick about the comments being made about the cast being whitewashed. You know, she was one that was definitely upset about it.
It was crazy to me because I'm like, I'm whitewashed. Like, I'm far from whitewashed. Like, I'm an immigrant. I like, my English is not even that good. Like, I'm the darkest one. I was the darkest one there. I'm blackity black. So I'm like, whitewashed. And it bothers me when people call me whitewashed because, like, all my life I've been told, like, you speak like a white girl. So it annoys me when people say that shit because I'm like, I face everyday struggles of a black woman. So don't try to erase my skin color. Like, that bothers me so much. So it annoyed me because I'm like, I have so much respect for Lance. So, like, for him to say that the cast is whitewashed was like crazy, especially when we were so open about, like, during, cause I knew about Juneteenth, but like other people that didn't know about Juneteenth were so open and willing to learn. And I felt like also he had a problem with Xavier and kind of took it out on everybody. And I'm like, bro, this has nothing to do with us. Like, why are we being dragged through the mud?
Multiple things were said, and that's why I had a problem with what that comment as well, because it seemed like you were trying to create a narrative against all of us.
Ruth, I will apologize because I know that's definitely a stigma that I've dealt with in the past, like through my younger days, because of me going to private school most of my life. And for me to even project that on anyone else, not knowing where they deal with it at, but the problem I had was definitely some very insensitive things, like the liquor and the the liquor and the tiredness and the moans and the groans could take the place of it. But Xavier, let's be clear, like you were very at the first the soul food brunch. You know, I know you was definitely tired. I know you was high. I know you was definitely, you know, drunk after a couple of mimosas. But I was sitting next to you, and some of the comments, and I never called you racist. I'm not calling you racist, and that's
I was not even speaking, Lance. I was high. I was drunk. I was not even there.
and
So
that's what I'm
like, I don't know
saying.
where
I
you
don't think you
coming
remember
up with
some of the
little
like,
comments.
because it got to moments where like even the performer was engaging with you, and you was like painted dust and stuff like that. Where we had to clue you in, like Xavier, like they're talking to you, like be a little respectful. Like it's just
Because I was high. I
exactly.
was
But that's
not
what I'm saying. I'm not
there.
saying that you did it intentionally, but some of it came across disrespectful for certain aspects, even at the second show, etc. Like
And
it, and that's where it all stemmed from. Like I'm not trying to call you racist, and I never once called you racist, but you were the one. Like
but
I
you're making it look
I didn't
seem
mean
like that though.
You're not
sensitive,
saying what he
maybe.
said, so it sounds off. Like, what did he say?
What did he say? I would just like to
What
know
did I
what he said.
say?
Like, it sounds like these are some pretty heavy accusations. We just want to know what.
Not the accusations, but like I'm like, oh, he said something, so I'm like expecting for him to have said something really atrocious, but I'm just curious to know what he said.
That's what I want to know. What did I say, Lance?
Where would I just come from this out of the blue? Like it's very weird that it would just seem like I'm coming with.
I'm not saying Lance is coming out of the blue, but what did he like? We want to know, like, what did he say? Because we're never gonna. If there's no receipts or you're not gonna tell us what he said, I'm not saying you're right, but you're not right. Like, who's right?
And then she was waiting for the reunion to see.
Actually, I never was gonna bring it up. Dre, the one who was bringing up that narrative for this. Lance was never gonna talk about it. It checked off the two people that you dubbed. This is the reason why you dubbed them. You're not.
Me and Josie actually Josie. I actually wanted to get to know him like more type shit. Like I was actually interested in getting to know Josie more. So when he caught up with me, I'm like, what the fuck did I do to Josie too? And he told me that it was you, that you was putting shit in like his head type shit. And you did the same too. You was the one who was.
The only time I ever talked to Josie about you was on that first day. Was when I was telling him how I was interested in you.
And then I asked him, I was like, why you like stop talking to me for like since the first date type shit? He goes, oh, Lance told me something. I'm like, oh, like he started telling me what.
And the only thing I told him is that you never I was like, hey, this is the reason why he probably haven't like really gone to gears with you is because of what he said at Enigma was that he never you never dated a black guy. I was like, maybe that's why he's not into you.
That was my part to do. Like I was the one who was supposed to talk to him.
I mean, at the end of the day, I was having a conversation. So if he's wondering why you're not giving him the time of day, I put the box together that you literally said hours before that. Hey, this is maybe
that's
why.
my place to do though. Like that's my
because
place
you also
to
dubbed
like
Darius.
And that was another thing too. I was actually supposed to talk to Darius by myself, type shit, like one-on-one. And the fact that you actually pressed me right there in front of him, I was not gonna stay back.
At the end of the day, I was filming a show, and you never was gonna bring it up. Let's be clear, you never was gonna bring it up.
I was gonna bring it up. I was gonna talk to him actually separately, just like I was gonna talk to Josie.
No, that needed to be addressed because you dubbed him publicly for the show. You dubbed him publicly for the show, so it needs to be addressed publicly for the show. We're not going to do this. At the end of the day, just like other people stirred a pot in previous seasons and as well as this one, I decided to stir the pot, and it also had something to do with me. So it needed to be addressed. Simple and plain.
I just feel like you're obsessed.
I'm not obsessed. Xavier, trust me, I'm not obsessed. Like, I value like aside from my likeliness of you, like liking you at the beginning, after the season is over, definitely not obsessed. Like we, keep.
So like, why you keep coming up with shit? But why you keep coming up with this stuff that we're discussing? Like I never said nothing in the brunch. I never said nothing about you bringing shut up. Like you making shut up plans for what?
We'll leave it alone. Like I mentioned, I apologize if I hurt anyone by saying that comment because I never meant it in that capacity, but certain aspects of it just came across as very like not understanding of others people's backgrounds.
So let's go ahead and close this one on that. It definitely could have been a misunderstanding. So, you guys can definitely talk about that more if, personally you want to. This cast was very entertaining. I'll say that. And bold. all season long. I've been seeing so many of you hang out after this, this season. I think that you guys really did build genuine friendships, but I've also seen the drama and the shade from each other. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows, unfortunately. But I have seen some of the cast. So like Sunny, she is doing good with her modeling. We saw that. Josie moved to a new city, got a new job.
He literally lives 10 minutes from me now.
Darius, we see you dancing. How has your dance career been going? Anything new with you? How's that going for you?
I'm still talking to one of the choreographers that I was training with, and he just let me know about like his classes that I should take, and I sent him more videos, so he's giving me more critiques on what I need to do to get there, like trying to go on tour and stuff.
And of course, Xavier, we see you traveling everywhere. How has your life been since you wrapped up filming?
It's been chill. I'm broke now, so I need a job. And no more fire for me.
You're going to take a break from the traveling for a little bit.
For a little bit now, for a long time.
And then Dre, of course, this was your biggest season yet, I would say probably. Your Dre Media is growing. Each season seems to get better and better. How are things for you? How is the brand going?
I wouldn't be here without, like, obviously the entire group, especially this cast. So I have to give a huge thank you to you guys. But it's like I literally have goosebumps. Like, it's so weird. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's so surreal that this is happening. It's like I say every time, it's only up from here. Really, really excited to see what's to come with this, because we're almost at 1K subscribers. And I know, like, to a lot of people that might not be a lot, but to me that's a lot. Like, I really started from the bottom, now we're here.
So everyone seems to be thriving and living their lives. Of course, that happens after you leave the show. But I have to ask, I know you guys have a TLWL alumni chat. Of course, I'm in that one, but you also have the season 6 one, or season 7, sorry. Season 6 was my season. Season 7. So, of course, you guys have that. Blow-ups happen in there. I did hear there's been blow-ups, there's been fights, things like that. So, Marcy's not here, but I kind of want to know just, what's happened on that one. With the massive blow up, what happened? What was the situation? Are we good now, or is there still problems from that? Or we can start with Dre.
The thing with Marcy, and I'm going to try and say this as respectfully as possible, is that what you guys know of her isn't what I know of her. Like, you guys know the good, the fun, the 3-day experience, and maybe hang out with her a couple times. I'm not here to control you and tell you can't be friends with this person. You can't be. If you're friends with her, then you're not friends with me. That's not what I'm here to do, because time will tell. I believe that time will tell, and that's it. But with the blow up that happened in the group chat is Marcy was my roommate. Marcy crossed the line on personal levels so many times, whether it was talking about my friends personally, my family, my sister, my mom, even myself. Like, it's way more than what everybody here knows. And I know you guys are like, well, you guys don't tell us this, and Marcy does tell us. And it's like, because I'm not the type of person that's going to sit here and be like, hey, everybody should not like Marcy. My issue with Marcy was my issue with Marcy. It didn't get brought up to you guys until she was going to Tobias, telling people in the cast and making me and my real life circle out to be these bullies and these terrible people. And she was trying to make this narrative and turn it into something very negative. I was not having it. And then she dragged you guys into it. And what I had been saying from the jump was I didn't want it to be you guys versus other alumni, which is what it's somewhat come to. Because look at it. Look who's here. Look who's here. Look who's dedicating their time talking the issues out like adults. And look who's not here.
I mean, she could have just.
And hold on. And like at the end of the day, I didn't want her issues with people and her relationships with people to mix with you guys and your interpretation on people, because look who's not here. If Marcy, from what I've been told, Marcy's done with Dre Media, Marcy doesn't want anything to do with it, she's blocked me, she's blocked Dre Media, that's fine. If you guys decide to continue to grow with me and Dre Media, I didn't want her issues to become yours. And I feel like it's kind of somewhat tainted your guys' image a little bit, because when you're defending your friend, even if you're calling her out for the things she said, it's kind of like, all right, do they actually feel this way, or do they just have her back because she's on their season and that's what it is? And Lance mentioned it in the group chat as well, and that's how I felt. I had a conversation with Ruth, Xavier, Kevin, and Tobias about it, that I genuinely do feel like you newbies became a friend group. The only newbie that I could say that minded their business and never made me feel like, oh, your friends are bullies, or oh, maybe you're not telling the truth, or maybe, maybe you don't defend Marcy, was Idarius. I feel like Idarius, and Mike obviously is an OG, but as a newbie, Idarius was the only one that minded his business. It's funny that Marcy, the person with the most ruthless mouth, wants to play victim when, let's rewind the tapes. Didn't she come for Clay and his looks and his personal life before even knowing him on Instagram Live? And she had so much to say about him. And she, if you want to play the victim card, she was bullying Clay.
Bully can't play the victim.
But I'm just so sick and tired, and this isn't only towards Marcy. I'm tired of people playing the victim card and the minority card. When something doesn't go your way, you can't scream racist, bully, transphobic. You can't. If you've been friends with me for years, months, however many times, you can't all of a sudden, for example, Ruth, Lance, you guys are people of color. If you feel like I was racist, you would have felt that from the beginning of our friendship. If something doesn't go the way you guys want months from now, you can't sit here and call me a racist, because I'm not a racist just because it didn't go your way. We can't sit here and call straight people homophobic because we get into an argument with them. We can't call them transphobic. We can't call them bullies when we are projecting negativity out, because that's not how the world works.
I just hope you know that I didn't do anything that day against you or your friends. I still have a completely unbiased opinion about everybody because I have not met them. Yeah, I heard some stuff that Marcy has told me, and whether it be true 100% or not, I don't know. But I only defended her that day because everybody jumped on her. Nobody had Marcy's back besides Marcy. And there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people attacking her. So of course, just like if it was going to be Mike, Lance, Ruth, X, Idarius, whoever on the cast was getting attacked like that, I'm going to defend them.
I tell you, like, if Marcy just came on the reunion and apologized, like, all would be fucking well. I promise you, all would be so well. Like, she called me a couple of days ago and I was at work, so I couldn't answer, but just be sorry for what you did. It's cool, it's fine, and we'll get over it. But like,
exactly.
Like
I was like, I even know you don't agree with some of your actions. So if you do have to apologize to people, whether it's to Dre or to his friends, like, just do it. And she was just like, I don't feel like apologizing for some things.
For you to use the word, everyone was attacking Marcy. Okay, so let's rewind the tapes again. And Lance was saying that you might double team him. Were you guys really double teaming him, or were you guys both arguing back to Lance because he was coming at both of you individually?
Agreed.
If I sit here and I shit talk Kevin, Ruth, Lance, Xavier, all 9 of us here, I'm gonna expect 9 responses back. You guys aren't gonna all be like, Kevin, you're the bodyguard. You message her for everyone. No, Marcy has individual issues with everybody. So when everyone's addressing her, they're all not just attacking her because she did something to one person. They're all attacking her, or let's use the proper word, addressing her, because she has individual issues with everybody. And again, instead of handling it like this and having a conversation, she likes to be slick. She likes to make comments. She likes to throw shade. And she likes to run away from her problems. Like, oh, you could call me and we could handle it, blah, blah, blah.
I won't call you. I wanted to address it here.
I'm not calling her one-on-one for her to go run it to Ruth and Tobias and say that I bullied her or that I'm a transphobe. Like, you lived with me for 3 months and I wasn't transphobic. Now all of a sudden I call you out on bullshit and I'm transphobic. I'm a bully. I'm this, I'm that. It's just very, very frustrating.
I said in the group chat, when the shit was brought in the group chat, I said, this group chat was not meant for fight. If y'all want to fight each other, y'all have each other's fucking number. I'm not doing this back and forth shenanigans, because now when Marcy's getting attacked and I'm a loyal person, I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, I'm just not going to say anything.
Yeah, but do you think when you fight multiple people and then multiple people come back at you?
Yeah, well, that's
3 different people in this group chat right now. I'm gonna expect 4 different people in this group chat to come.
Yeah, Dre said that. You saw how everybody went stupid on Clay for one little comment, so you know that they were sticking together. So you got to understand it a little bit, Dre. That like, yeah, I understand your friend's side of it because I know them. But also you got to understand this like newbie mentality. And then Ruth even experienced a lot of it. So she's already sitting on ready. So I understand both sides of it, but I also don't know the deep, dark issues that were said because I wasn't involved in like some of the things that were said. I just know about the underlying.
Lance has tiffs with my friends. Clay had a huge tiff with my
I
friends.
haven't had a tiff with none of your friends. They all love me.
You know what I mean. Mike has been in a situation with my friends, and so has Clay. I don't back them if they are wrong. I will have their backs, but I will hold them accountable. And that's the issue. The issue is that Marcy thinks she could, again, walk around saying all these things about you guys on the season, being a fake friend, and then crossing personal lines with people after filming. But everyone's still like, well, we love Marcy. Like, Marcy's our castmate. And it's like, but people got to hold her accountable. And I'm sorry, but Marcy, she is very entitled and very disrespectful, okay? Because I did a lot for Marcy to get her to where she is right now. I helped her because I had love for her and our friendship, and for her to just block me, never have a decent conversation with me, a mature conversation, cross these lines on a personal level, it's not okay. And I'm not going to sit here and say, if you guys are friends with her, you're not friends with me. But you guys have to understand that what she did is way, way beyond just this little stuff.
We don't agree with some of the things Marcy has
That's what I'm
said.
saying. Like every time she has
Yeah, that's what we want you to know.
Yeah, every time she has FaceTime me, like Kevin Tobias has been there. When she FaceTimed us after the whole situation happened in the group chat, the first thing I said to her, I said, Marcy, did you or did you not say it? And then she explained herself. She said, I did say it, and I would apologize for that. I am the first one to call out my friend whenever they do something wrong. The fact that people are thinking that I'm not calling out Marcy, I have called out Marcy on multiple occasions. Like, I've not been 110% on her side.
I just want it to be put out there, like the people that still do communicate with Marcy is not anti-Dre's friends and it's not anti-Dre, because it's just a matter of, hey, we still got love for this person. We don't know the full story, but we want you to know it's not nothing against you. Because I will say, like, Marcy is someone I definitely have talked to, but Dre, you know the love I have for you and almost all your friend group, like literally all your friend group. I'm not gonna say half. Like, so it's just, I think what Kevin and Ruth is just trying to come across is that us defending Marcy was not like anti-Dre or not holding Marcy accountable.
You guys can't just defend her because she's your friend and there's multiple people coming at her. If she says something wrong, it doesn't matter what comments are being said to her. If you guys back her, then I have to put my foot down and back my people. That's my issue with Marcy. I'm not gonna lie, that I do feel some type of way about with Sunny as well for leaving, because she should have never left. Like, you guys are part of this project and you guys are leaving, and any OG, so Clay, Mike, and Lance, you know, my line is Dre Media.
Yeah.
Fuck with Dre Media. I don't give a fuck what it is. If I respect you on Dre Media, you respect Dre Media. So them not reposting and them not sharing and them leaving chats and them not showing up to certain things, that's fine. But just letting you know, if you're not going to respect Dre Media, I'm not going to respect you. Point blank.
Yeah.
Marcy has to be held accountable as well as everyone else. I wish she was here. I really do wish she was here so we could hear more of her side. It's been a long season for sure, but it's time to say goodbye to this chapter. Of course, maybe there's more chapters to come for some of you, all of you, who knows. I do have one last question, and then we're gonna keep it quick. Just how was your experience on TLWL and working with Dre Media?
Loved it so much. We'll always do this.
I had a lot of fun, and I feel like I got a lot of love from like the show, from like people and stuff. Like even my family, they like, oh my god, you know you in a reality TV show. So I'm like, yes, man, thanks for and like I would do another season eventually,
Yeah, I loved TLWL. Like, I feel like I had so much fun, and I don't really have like I have like close group of friends, but like I don't have like a all like queer group of friends. So it was like an interesting experience. It was so much fun, and I would do it again.
I enjoyed my experience 1,000%. I definitely didn't know what to expect, but I feel like I got a lot more than what I even would have expected out of it. A bunch of friends, and the entire experience, I just didn't expect the things they were going to do. So it was a great experience. Thank you, Dre, again, for having us and myself. But yeah, I'd love to do it again and expel that main character energy once more, twice more. Challenge. I'd love to wreck the challenge, you know. But yeah, definitely would do this experience again.
Dre Media has definitely taught me something about myself every single season. I literally tell Dre I'm taking a break every time, but like he even know I hit him up a couple weeks ago seeing that they had a spot because my schedule opened up. Cause my schedule's so weird. But yeah, like I love it. I learn something about myself every single time, and I want to continue kicking people's ass in caucus. Like, you know, I'm already a champ. We'll see what the next one holds for me. And you know, Lance is always ready for the availability call, even though sometimes he missed it.
Well, I mean, I got the show tatted on me, so I'm down for anything. I be feeling free as fuck. Just coming out anytime he asks me.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for your time tonight. It was great getting to hear all the behind the scenes, tea, and cleaning up the season. Of course,
Oh yeah.
I'm your host.
It's my birthday.
And it's your birthday today?
Man,
Yes, it just turned her
happy
birthday. Bitch, we've been on this shit so long. Happy
Right.
birthday, bitch.
Okay, well, we are signing off. That is everything we have for y'all. You guys were great.
Love you guys so much.
Love you guys.
Best
I
cast,
love you
Good
guys.
night.
best
I'll
cast
see you guys
ever.
soon.
Tacos out.
Love y'all.
Season 7 out, bitches.
Season 7, done.